Hi everyone. In today's lecture, we're going to be talking about Chapter 4, all about the Internet. And your textbook does a fantastic job tracing the history of the Internet and the development of that system that we use every day, some of us almost every minute of every day. And what I want to do in this lecture is talk a little bit about something different, but yet related. And I'm going to start out by talking about 6 degrees of separation. You may be familiar with this game or this concept, but the theory goes that everyone in the world is really separated only by 6 nodes or individuals or people. That means that if I want to access Kevin Bacon, I don't know him personally, but if I find the right 6 people, I can get to him pretty quickly. You can test this out for yourself on oracleofbacon.com. They have a pretty interesting website interface, and people spend a considerable amount of time trying to find people with what they call a high Bacon number. That is celebrities and well-known people who are more than 6 degrees separated from Kevin Bacon. Most people have a pretty low Bacon number, at least in the celebrity world, but there are people out there who have a higher one. So this is reassuring to those of you who have celebrities that you idolize or you really want to meet at some point. We're all only 6 degrees away from the Kardashians or any of your favorite celebrities. If it's not the Kardashians, drawing a blank on other celebrities right now other than Kevin Bacon and those reality stars. But internet and social media come into play directly here. Let's talk a little bit about what social media is and why it connects us all so well. Social media, there's a couple different definitions you can use to help you understand. It goes beyond just Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. Social media is heavily studied by academics, and we've come up with a couple ways to describe it. It is a space where we can participate, converse, or talk to each other. Shareable content is of paramount importance in social media. That's one of the hallmarks of social media. Social media encourages collaboration and connection between people as well. So that's really, if you're trying to determine if a media truly is social, you need to look at those things. For example, we know Facebook is definitely a social media. People have conversations on there all the time. People randomly connect and not so randomly connect either. If you think about something like Snapchat, let's think about whether Snapchat's social media. We could say absolutely it is. The potential for sharing content and collaborating with others is definitely possible through the chat function. If you look at something like Reddit, maybe it's social media. People are definitely participating in a conversation there, but I don't necessarily know that there's the shareability aspect like there are on other places. If you look at something like Wikipedia, is that social media? Not really. People have conversations there, but the conversation is not the focus, nor is Wikipedia designed to bring people together. So it's not technically something that's social media. So when you start to think about different websites and different apps, you can really, using this definition, this guideline, filter out pretty quickly what is and what isn't social media. Let's look, for example, again at something like Pokemon Go. People are definitely connecting over this, and you can even have a collaboration element there too, but are people conversing in the app? Probably not so much. Are they sharing? Probably not so much. So thinking about this framework helps us really understand what is and what isn't social media. Another definition is the use of technology and interaction to create some sort of value, or the integration of technology, social interaction, and the construction of words and pictures. These are all different definitions and accurate frameworks for helping us understand what makes social media so different than just the internet at large. Now, when we think about why social media are important, yes, they're excellent distractions from class, they're excellent distractions from our everyday life, but they actually are very important. Think for a second about the person in your life who you would say knows the most number of people. You know who this guy or girl is. There's inevitably somebody in your social network who just seems to know everyone. Has that person expanded your own network in some way? Have you met friends of theirs simply because they're a connector to you? This is where social media comes in, because social media is full of these people called hubs or influencers. Influencers are any persuasive people within your network. And by persuasive, I don't necessarily mean they can talk you into anything, but I do mean that they have some sort of sway and people listen to them. They might be an opinion leader in some way or some context. A hub is a person I mentioned earlier. This is just, in terms of networking, a node or a person with many connections to other nodes or other individuals individuals. So you can think about it in terms of just the technical aspect of a network, or the more social aspect of a network. I'm connected to several hundred people on Facebook. That's definitely a small number in the world of social media. But I've got friends who are connected to, 2,000-3,000 people on Facebook. They're definitely hubs who are connected, well connected within the community and to other people. There's actually two different kinds of connections you can make on social media. There are strong ties and weak ties. And the strong ties are those people who are your close friends, people who you'd be connected with even if Facebook didn't exist. Think about like your close family members and very, very close friends who you communicate with on a regular basis, regardless of if you have social media. Those weak ties are your quote friends who are really more like acquaintances. So people you don't know very well, but you become friends with them for some reason, either on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Maybe you're just a follower, but you don't see them every day and you don't really want to see them every day. They live far away or they're not really in your social circle. Social networks, believe it or not, capitalize way more on this concept of the weak tie, because we all have fewer close friends than we do not as close friends. And because we're connected to both categories in social media, that's what makes social so powerful, because we have so many weak ties most of us do, in our social networks. That's what brings everyone together. Now, one of the objectives for this unit is to talk a little bit about the dangers of social media, and we could talk about a number of dangers. Cyberbullying, we could talk about the problems of people being just rude on social media. What I want to talk about is a hashtag first world problems. You might be familiar with it. Here's a couple of tweets to illustrate what it's like. It's pathetic, but I get mad when Google doesn't read my mind and I have to type in every letter of my search. Hashtag first world problems. Or it would be just lovely if someone could match my multicolored socks for me every time I did laundry. First world problems are those problems that aren't really big major problems, but we live in such a blessed society, they become problems. Are you kidding me? I can't watch LA Kings in class. I have to pay attention. First world problems. This one speaks to me as a professor. The struggle is real with iPhone users. If you've got a weak battery, I have to plug my phone into the charger so much that I basically have a landline again. First world problems. Just one of the many potential problems of the internet and social media. We take it for granted, and we also are using social media to complain and to vent when really a lot of times we don't really have that much to complain about in the first place. So that brings us to the close of this short lecture video about social media. I hope you enjoy reading about the internet, and looking forward to talking with you in the discussion forum as well.